Get what you need for winter now. Hey everybody, it's Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. The seasons are a-changing. Thus, I'm in my beanie and my flannel out watering the garden in the morning. Yes, we can feel it in the air, right? Seasons are changing. And with the potential railroad strike today, Friday, September 16th, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we have seen increased supply issues. We know that goods are in shorter supply than they have been in a while. So talking about getting your winter gear in order. I've talked about this recently, talking about seasons changing and us being proactive, not reactive, thinking ahead. Okay, what do I need for winter? Do I have beanies? Do I have the clothing I need? Is any of my stuff worn out? Is any of my stuff in ill repair? Do I need to repair it? Do I need to buy more? Even if stuff is in ill repair, like say boots, say winter boots, say there's some seams coming apart or something like that, well, what I do is sometimes I will just shoe them up or repair them and keep using them. But what you can do also is, because things are going to be in shorter supply, what I just did, I ordered myself a new pair of winter boots. And then the ones from last year, I'll do any repairs they need, set them off to the side in my preps as extra footwear. Having extra stuff like that to keep you warm, because if we enter into some kind of extended event where say it's years before things go back to, sort of normal, where production is back to being able to get things that we need, then having spare things like boots, spare clothing, spare lots of things like we know as preppers is very advantageous for us, correct? Yeah, it is. So just a side note, I'll let you know what boots I ordered. I had been talking about it on Patreon and stuff. I hear it gets down to sometimes like the high teens. So it's not cold. A lot of you are like, that's nothing. You're right. It is nothing compared to a lot of people and what they have to deal with. It's not negative 30 degrees or anything like that. But my feet tend to get cold, and I want a boot that I can go anywhere in this state and my neighboring states and be able to do whatever I need to do. So I ordered a pair of the Salomon Tundra Pro boots. Supposedly good down to negative 40 degrees. I have a lot of good experience with Salomon. So I had other boots in mind, but I went ahead and went with Salomon because the other boots, I hadn't owned those brands before, and I know Salomon works really well. I have like 3 pairs of Salomons right now. That'll be my pair number 4, as well as Merrell and Vask and Oboz. Those are my top 4 brands, my favorite boots. But anyway, that's a side note. We know that there are shortages, and food, as you can see here, I can grow my own food. I can raise my own animals. My neighbors have animals. My neighbors over here have animals all around me. Tribe members have lots of animals. Cows, pigs, turkeys, pheasants, chickens, ducks. I mean, all kinds of animals. We're set for animals for a good period of time. So growing my own food and stuff like that is set. We can do that. What I can't do is I can't make a pair of boots, right? So I know as preppers, we tend to think about food storage and water storage and stuff like that. Well, I can find water. Water falls from the sky. I can grow food. I can forage for food. I can hunt for food. I can tribe for food. But what I can't do is nobody I know has the capability to make a good pair of winter boots. So think about things like that. What about wool blankets? Maybe you can make wool blankets if you have tribe members, or if you have sheep and you can shear the wool and then you can spin it into yarn and then you can knit it into blankets, socks, whatever it is you need. Great. Thumbs up. If you're there, that's awesome. Really awesome. But a lot of people aren't. So getting those things that you might need for winter is an important thing to do now. Think about your boots. Check out your boots. What about your socks? Are they getting thin? Do you need to order some new socks? How about check the condition of your shell from last year, your outer layer, your windbreaker, whatever you want to call it, your foul weather gear, like we used to call it in the military. Make sure that you're, say you have a nice Gore-Tex jacket, but maybe you've had it for a couple years. Maybe there's some tears in it. Maybe it's not as waterproof as it used to be. So think about replacing things like that now that you cannot make yourself, period. I don't know of anybody that can make their own Gore-Tex jacket, from scratch. So, are there other alternatives? Yes, there are. Of course there are other alternatives. But getting the things that you need that you cannot make or you cannot grow or you cannot produce yourself is vitally important for this time and place right now. And along that path, what about your layering systems for warmth in the wintertime? Because when you're out and about working and you're doing the things, you don't want to have just a big winter coat. I've talked about this in the past, how important it is to layer, especially if you're in a survival situation out in the middle of the woods, you have to bug out to the mountains, whatever the situation is, that you can't just go inside and get warm. Because we hope for the best, we prepare for the worst. I hope to bug in and be able to go inside from my wood stove with all the wood I have stockpiled, stacked up, and get warm. Because the alternate heating source is a vital thing to have. But what if we're not here? That's what we do as preppers. What if? That's what we try to cover. We try to cover those bases. So now is the time to be getting anything you need in order for winter. And it depends on where you live, what you need. If you're in Florida, you may not need the boots I ordered. If you're in North Dakota, maybe you need more boot than I ordered. So a side note, or actually note along with that, for boots, if you really want to keep your feet warm, the quality of the boot is important. The boot is very important. But there's two other things that go along with that that are also very important. That is socks. Along with those Salomon Tundra Pro boots I ordered a pair of the Baffin Polar Extreme, a couple pairs of the Baffin Polar Extreme socks. So they're a heavyweight sock. I'm going to test those out. Probably, be showing you guys here how I like the boots, how I like the socks, etc. Not paid or endorsed by them. I bought them out of my own pocket. Nothing about affiliates or anything like that. So I'll probably give you updates. I'll try to give you updates as soon as possible so that if you need to get something like that, you can order those. And then along with that, what's another thing? Where do you lose heat? You lose heat from two ways, conduction and convection. Okay, conduction is when you're touching something. Well, when you're wearing boots, you're touching the ground, right? Yeah, you are. So conduction, some body heat, some heat and some is lost via the bottom of your feet. And that cold is transferred from the ground into your feet. So, one way, the good quality boots, good quality socks, but another thing is, very important, is you can get wool insoles. You can get wool replacement insoles for your boots that help mitigate that conduction heat loss from the bottom of your feet. A lot of people don't think about that. A lot of people just say, oh, I'm going to get this, super Wamidine boot and some good socks. Okay, I'm good to go. And hopefully you are. In a lot of situations you are. But if you're in a situation where maybe that's just not enough or you want to be extra careful, extra sure, then get yourself a good quality pair of wool inserts for your boots. Along those notes also, that made me think about something else, and it slipped my mind. That's the way it goes, right? When you're sitting here talking in front of a sideways Android, you don't always, everything always doesn't come smoothly. But your winter gear, where I was going with that is, say you're in, depending on your area, where you are, how cold it gets, what kind of footwear and or cold weather gear and or inclement weather gear you need. You will be much better at answering the question of what you need than I am, because I'm just sitting here in my location talking about what's good for me. But we see these shortages. We see potential rail strikes. And that's not just something that's going to go away. We see potential chaos. We see crime. We see people breaking into trains and trucks and looting them and stealing them and stuff like that, as well as increased sanctions from around the world. All this chaos going on around the world. So the best thing to do is to get things that you cannot make, you cannot produce yourself, you have absolutely no way of getting it. Get those things now. Very important. Think about that. I hope this is helpful. And here it is at the end of the video, and I forgot to say it until now. Please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share the videos, comment below. Do all those things that help us be seen by others so that we can turn more people into assets, get more people into preparedness instead of liabilities and threats. The more assets we build, the fewer people will be coming for your stuff, my stuff, and everybody else's stuff. So it's very important. Also, little heart with the thanks in it, super thanks. If you feel like donating to the channel, helping us out, helping us create better content, get other things so that we can talk about those things, etc., then click that and donate what you want if you feel like it. It's kind of like buy me a coffee type thing or something like that. Donate to my night vision fund. That's what I should say, since I've been saving for night vision forever and don't have that really much accumulated towards it. That is a really good force multiplier that I'm really trying to step up into. But anyway, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.